Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Today's the 4th of June. We're looking at the SPY chart. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time on the ES, going over what I call my mechanics of trading video. Today, we're going over the same data, but I'm focusing on the ES. Now, let me move this out of the way. We're really using the same data. I've got my anchor bars, no other technical indicators in here, just Fibonacci price theory, price chart, looking at gaps, seeing how gaps are getting filled, looking at price rotation through here. I'll get rid of this so we can draw it again later. And really quite interesting to see, look, I'll just be very honest with you. You take the gap from here to here, okay? You just map out the 382 to 50 area as resistance, which is right here. So here's our key resistance. And here's our key support over here. We're already above resistance. So pay attention to the fact that this is our major resistance area. I'll move it over here so you can see it. It keyed in with this gap. And now we're looking at this gap, which again, I think is going to be very explosive to the upside of the apex. Notice how this flag apex is setting up. We're getting very close to an apex here. But notice how price rolled through deep lows and then a recovery, basically a 50% recovery, then a deep low and then a massive recovery back into basically 618 of this level. So again, look at where we got up here to 764. Here's 618, and it ran into rejection. That's the 618 area here. Ran into rejection, went back down to the 382 level. Now we're moving upward. I'm a firm believer, looking at this chart, seeing how we have this inverse head and shoulders formation here. We've got this flagging formation here. I count the flag as being an A, B, C, D, and then an E, where we've already reached near the apex of this pattern right now. I could have done this a little better. So C is down here, and then D is up here, and then we ran here. Now we're in this broad flagging formation. And my assumption, ladies and gentlemen, is that we're going to see massive support build over the next couple of hours. And let's just go back into a 5-minute here. And remember, so here's our data. Here's our flag. We're flagging out. What we're really looking for right now, guys, is let's look at this data from a price standpoint. Try to bring the price bars. Oh, I'm still drawing. Visual order, back to front. Okay, let's look at where we're at. So it looks like markets opened, closed here, possibly June 3rd. Yep. June 4th, probably here. Yep. So here's our opening price. Here's our high. Guess what we do? We go back to the same data. We come in here. We draw a horizontal line. This presents our breakaway pattern to the upside. And we clone this to the downside. We look at the opening range here. So we'll call this the avoid loser range. I know it seems kind of odd, but this is really how you got to look at it. And so now understand that we've set up our range. We're looking for support. We're getting confirmation here with upward higher highs. Now we need to see this mechanism hold and move above these higher highs. Remember, we're going to be in kind of a zone here where this becomes air on the SPY chart. And then this becomes air. Sorry, things are moving a little slow on the SPY chart, moving down. So again, breaking away from these levels gives us a pretty clean indication that, oops, once we get up here, in this area above this apex, we're getting very clean, what I would call air. And that's thanks to my friend Kurt. But the idea here behind air is that you've got clean, open, wide open tendencies to be able to take this move and really accelerate. Okay. So you've got clean, wide open space to potentially really accelerate to the upside or the downside. You can see we're rallying a little bit here. It may take another hour or two to break away. I wouldn't be overly aggressive in trying to trade this right now. Obviously, it could break either direction. So we let price tell us what's actually taking place. But I believe, again, looking at this data, looking at the inverted head and shoulders, looking at how we're above our resistance and support levels, basically we've got to clear this window here, which is the gap window, this rectangle. And I think once we clear that 528 15, 528.20 area, we're going to rally like mad. And I think really if we come back down here, go to maybe a 2 hour. So we come in here and you can see the data. You can see the resistance area here, which we're above. Remember, failure to get below our breakdown level right here would put us into a very strong support resistance area. We're trying to clear this gap window. We could do so with some real extreme upward movement. But again, remember those windows that I drew here. This is the gap, the air area right here. So remember, we have a lot of empty space right here to be able to see a potential move. And that's why I think you could see a very easy breakaway pattern setting up. And really, I mean, this is a 2 hour chart. So you really got about less than an hour and a half or so to go before we're going to reach the apex. So let's come back down to a 1 hour or maybe a 30-minute. And let's pay attention to what's going on. We're still getting very solid anchor bars. We're still trending higher. This is our breakaway to the level to the upside. This is our breakaway level to the downside. This is our air channel. This is our gap area here, which could become kind of a price void, trying to fill really quickly. And down here, we have a gap area right here, this blue area, that could be a fill very quickly area to the downside. So pay attention that we're looking at really a sideways price action right now that could confirm either direction based on my count, my analysis, and my support level building off this inverted head and shoulders. I believe we're going to rally. I think we're going to go pretty much rolling around this area and rallying upward into the 530, 531 area, probably by tomorrow. Okay. So again, we could get a lot of volatility. So now if I'm wrong, what would we be looking at? Well, if I'm wrong, then we're going to see this break down. Remember A and B, and it's going to come right down here to 522. How can I be sure of that? Because that's the most recent standout low. It's a deeper standout low on this 30-minute chart. So really, it's got to get above this level, which would be, think of it like this. Price has to move to higher highs. If it breaks this high and tries to go higher, it's going to try to break this high next. So that's why this 530, 531 area is very important. Now, if we move down and we break this area here, where's it going to go? Well, it has to try to take out this low. There's no other question about it. It has to. And that's the way price works. It has to take out previous highs or previous lows. And if it's at a new all-time high, then it's taking out the most recent highs and lows. That's what it's doing. It's just keep pushing upwards or downwards. So at this point, you've got a very clear indication, again, using the same tools. I'm not using technical indicators. I'm not using anything else. I could, they could help, or they could maybe confuse me a little bit. I like to just stick with price, and I like to just stick with looking at what price is doing to determine what's going on. So you see we're getting a little downward pressure here. Okay, perfect. Still within our range. We haven't broken out of anything. Go back over here. So kind of looks like we're moving into this downtrend. And if you can see here, I drew it wrong, but apexes can be volatile. So you can see here, we've come all the way up and then we came back down and then we started this volatility. You can see pretty much from here to here, we've been in this sideways volatile range. This is price trying to break out of this apex, okay? And it's going to get more volatile as we slide deeper into this apex, which could last another hour, hour and a half here. But ultimately, what's going to happen is price is either going to do a fake out low and then rally, or it may do a fake out high and then collapse. But again, based on my analysis, I think we're going to be looking at possibly more of a move down in this area and then a rally back to the upside. That's really what I think is going to happen. Either that or we're going to break out. Apexes can get tricky. So understand that an apex can either resolve cleanly to the upside or the downside, meaning you run into an apex and it just takes off or it just sells down, or you can get into this fake out. And this fake out move is designed to catch traders off guard. So, there's a lot of people right now that are looking at this flag that are seeing it just like I'm seeing it. And they're going, hey, I bet it's going to go long, or I bet it's going to go short. Okay, no problem. So what happens is if it fakes out down, it catches the long sides off of stops, because a lot of people are going to have stops down in this area right below this channeling area that I've drawn. So that basically you're trying to see the market makers or the exchanges, the traders, flush out these longs before actually moving the market higher, and or flushing out these shorts before moving the market downward. So understand that, we're in this move. It's going to resolve. My assumption is to the upside. My assumption as well is that if you were to start to accumulate down off of these lows, you would want to probably have your stop somewhere down here below the gap level. And I'm going to highlight the gap level for you. This is the gap level. And I'll bring this all the way back so you can see it. That's the gap level from way back here that is going to be acting as critical support. So understand that your stop, in order to protect yourself from that flushing of data, would need to be down here a little wider than normal to try to protect yourself. It's right in the middle of our support channel and resistance channel, but you need to be down here to avoid this flush out. Okay, that's just kind of the way it works around apexes. Okay, here we are moving into the apex. I get rid of some of these lines so you can see. And we are moving slowly but surely through this cycle phase. And of course, I could sit here and wait. Let's just see what happens over the next few minutes with this rally phase taking place right now. So what are we seeing? Are we seeing higher highs and higher lows? Or are we seeing lower highs and lower lows? So you do the math. I'll do it with you, but I look over here, the last 20 or 30 bars. Yeah, I'm seeing kind of higher highs and higher lows. Looking for the next one up here. So I am seeing higher highs and higher lows. We are in an uptrend. We're certainly not in a downtrend. We can see that. Fibonacci price theory confirms that. We have a big anchor bar right here, which was our last big red anchor bar. And again, that's part of the reason why I drew this resistance channel right here, this red line, is because it's just below the last bearish anchor bar, and technically just above this last little area here, this green anchor bar. So again, we're waiting to see what happens here. We've mapped out our decision. We have an A decision here, which is, this is our A move. It's going to be bullish. Oh, A, bullish breakout, or B is a bearish breakout. And again, this is basically mapping. This is basically mapping out our trade. So remember, we always have a success and failure plan in place to tell us what's, oh, moving that. There we go. All right. Well, so we're 15 minutes in. Let's just watch it. I mean, let's see what happens. You guys have any questions yet? Post them into this video. Let me know what's going on. Remember, you don't have to be trading everything. You can wait. You can wait for the market to set up, especially this morning. We had jobs data coming out. We had a big move yesterday, a big rotation. We're getting into this sideways trending. What do you do when the market's going sideways? Well, unless you're going down to a 1 or 2 minute chart and trying to trade the ultra short term trends, you sit here and you watch it and you let market price tell you what it wants to do. I mean, the price will, just like I'm showing you on this chart, tell you what it is attempting to do. I dissected the price. We've gotten into this sideways channel. We've seen the flag volatility increase as we near the apex. We're moving through this inverted head and shoulders formation. We've got higher highs and higher lows setting up, so we're in an uptrend. We've got our anchor bar low and our anchor bar highs set up, so we're all set up. We've identified air above, which is a big rally phase potential, and air below, which is a big selling phase potential. We can see clearly the selling phase could go down to 522.60. We could see very clearly that the upper trend could rally all the way up here to 531, 532 on a nice move back up to previous resistance. And all we're doing right now is waiting for the market to tell us which side is going to confirm so that we can go ahead and make a decision. Remember, I told you earlier, at this point, if I were to have to make a guess and you were to tell me what I would do, I would bet to the upside and I would put my stop somewhere down in this area. I'd start off with a very small position, what I call an anchor position, 1 or 2 contracts, maybe, or in this case, shares, maybe 20 or 25 or 30 shares. I don't know, something fairly small. And then once I get confirmation of the breakout, I would add in additional so that I could rally, and I would probably pull half, assuming it goes up. I would probably pull half right around this previous high. You can see right here. So basically, right up in that area, I would try to pull half my position off, move my stop just below this or near this breakaway level right here, and then let it rip if it wants to. Well, that was supposed to be a rip. My mouse has been acting up lately. Maybe I got some dust on it. Okay, well, it's just going nowhere right now, so I'll leave this here for you guys to see. We're at 18, almost 19 minutes into it. Like I told you, this could rally. Well, this could very easily consolidate into this apex area over the next 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes before breaking out. But again, I completely dissected this chart. You know exactly what to do off of this. It requires no technical indicators. This is the mechanics of trading. This is price. This is price telling you everything. And I hope you guys are starting to get it from these multiple examples, because this could change the way you actually see the market and see how price is actually directing your decision making. And in the meantime, if you don't have a clear trigger like we have right now, we sit and wait. That's what we do. We wait for the market to tell us what it wants to do. Okay, that's it for now.